turn into the 20th century, a time of invention, optimism, futurism. A time when the World Fairs would offer a vision of tomorrow. A vision that was clean, safe, and brimming with consumer goods.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could just hire a mechanical robot to do all the household chores? After all, my dear, isn't that what all our electro appliances do?
This device will be the most outstanding tool you will ever own, for your money back.
It's commendable. It's reputable. The name that says it all.
With the advent of the Industrial Revolution, for the first time in history, everything people needed could be produced at affordable prices. This presented a dilemma for businesses.
The mission of business has to be to produce consumers who are dissatisfied with what they have, even though they have everything they need.
We are entering the golden age of leisure. 50 years from now, by the year 1980, people will only have to work 2 hours a day.
Whether you bake or broil or stew, the Frigidaire kitchen does it all for you. Don't have to be chained.
What business must do is have people value consumption more than leisure.
Buick presents the Sleek Centurion.
Our job as advertisers is to cause consumers to become discontent with what they have. Dissatisfied with your same old stuff? Drink me, drive me, wear me, put me in your hair. Our new product will change your life.
What am I gonna do with all this? Can't find no room for all this. What am I gonna do with all this stuff? Everything's closing in around me. Can't contain it, I think I'm drowning. What am I gonna do with all this stuff? With all this stuff? With all this stuff? With all this stuff.
The Economic Office reports there were over 1.4 million bankruptcies last year.
Did you find everything you needed?
Yeah, I'll take these. My mom's gonna love them.
Oh, great choice. I'll be right back. Okay, your total is $69.55. Would you like to use cash or credit?
Cash? I don't think so. Long time since this wallet's seen cash. Credit.
All right, it'll just be a moment.
That is expected and unavoidable.
There goes that grade. That bad? Yes. You want to talk about it? No. Is there anything I can do? Just want to forget about it. Well, let's go shopping. Something new always makes me feel better. Things bring happiness. It's not that important.
Yes, it is.
We have to cut
Well,
something.
what do you want me to do? Sell the business? Go back to working nights?
No, Tom.
How hard would it be for you to go ask for a raise?
Tom, you know that would never happen.
How did we get here? It's like we're in a black hole. There's never enough.
I know, but the bills are not going to go away.
If only we had a little more money.
Maybe he's right. A little more money could solve all our problems.
I need help. A little more money will solve all our problems.
Those who love money will never have enough of it.
Things bring happiness.
A person's life does not consist of the abundance of possessions.
That is expected and unavoidable.
God will give you all you need from day to day if you make the kingdom of God your primary concern.
A little more money.
Give me neither poverty nor riches.
I feel so
pulled.
You cannot serve two masters.
Maybe it doesn't have to be like this.
What if I didn't have to worry about money?
Maybe. Just maybe.
There is hope for me. Help for me. Things could be different.
What would that be like? I could sleep at night.
No more arguments. Contentment.
Peace.
Joy.
Freedom.
I want to be free.
I looked up at the sign which read Field's Fine Jewelry. I then looked down at the piece of paper in my hand. Folding it up, I walked in. The door closed behind me. It was a small store, and no one was behind the counter. "Hello?" I called out. An old man emerged from behind the curtain in back, wearing magnifying jeweler's glasses.
May I help you?
"You're Mr. Field?"
Yes.
"I buy pearls. I was just over at an estate sale, and a guy there told me you were the man in town to see."
I have a pearl.
"One pearl? I was under the impression you had several."
I think you'll find this one interesting.
From a locked box behind the counter, he pulled out a small glass case and carefully set it down. I could hardly believe what I saw. It looked like a golf ball, only it was a pearl. It was liquid perfection, flawlessly round, more dazzling than anything I'd ever seen. It should have been in a museum. It's beautiful. I didn't know such a pearl existed.
Would you like to have it?
Oh, I can't afford that. I'm just a small-time buyer.
I'd like you to have it. But it will cost everything.
Everything?
Everything you own.
My mind flashed to all the pearls I'd seen in my lifetime. Several I was carrying with me at that moment, yet I couldn't take my eyes off this one fabulous treasure before me. Okay, I'll do it. I have to have it, whatever the cost. I reached into my briefcase. I've got these pearls I've been traveling and buying for several weeks, so I found some pretty nice stuff.
Yes, they are nice. What else do you have?
I also have some money in savings in my checking account and my retirement here.
Yes?
I guess I can sign a promissory note for the retirement account. I also have a few valuables in my safety deposit box. I can give you the key to that. I fumbled through my pockets, dumping their contents on the counter.
What's this?
Well, just some pocket money for lunch.
I'll need that, too. Everything you have.
Really? Well, okay, I guess. The old man looked down again and pointed to the key ring.
What's this?
My car keys.
I'll need those, too.
My car? Okay, fine, take it. Here, let me get my house key off the ring.
You have a house?
Yes, but... Fine. The house, too. It's worth it. Besides, I guess we can live in the summer cottage.
You have a summer cottage.
Okay, I get it. You can have the summer cottage, too. Here are the keys.
That's everything?
Everything. You own me, friend. The old man paused and looked me straight in the eyes. Then he slowly reached out his hand.
Here.
Taking the pearl, I looked down at my newfound treasure. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't believe my good fortune. What a find! I turned to leave.
Just a minute, young man.
Now what? I told you, I've already given you everything.
You don't understand. Here.
The old man held out his hands.
We both know what the pearl is worth. But I also want you to have these. Here's your checkbook, your passbook, your retirement, your safety deposit box, your car and house keys, and all the pearls you brought in here. Now, technically, they're all mine. But I want you to use and enjoy them.
You can't be serious.
Completely serious. Use them. Enjoy them. But remember who owns them. And something else. From time to time, I may send some people your way. They may need to borrow the car to have reliable transportation, or a place to stay, or some cash to get them through a tough time. You can use these things and enjoy them. But remember, they belong to me. And from time to time, I'll want you to share them.
I don't know what to say. How can I thank you? The old man smiled.
Just listen for my instructions. I'll be in touch.
And as we ponder that and prepare for this morning's offering, let each of us remember the Scripture. As we have freely received, so should we freely give. Amen.
I suppose I ought to contribute something. After all, the church has to pay its bills too. And these are comfortable seats, I must say. Comfortable seats, comfortable atmosphere. In fact, the whole place just says comfortable. And the congregation looks like they're doing quite well. This place must be rolling in the dough. What good is my measly couple of bucks going to do? Besides, how can I really know where my contribution's going? You can't be too careful these days. If I just keep my money, then I'll know exactly what it's being used for. I'm sure you'll understand, God, if I take a pass this morning.
Ah, yes, the offering. What a wonderful time in the service. There's something about being able to participate in what's going on here, to be part of funding this great work of God. A very, very large part. Sometimes I amaze myself, and I just know I could be such an example to others. Of course, how can I be an example if they don't know what I'm doing? I certainly wouldn't want to tell anyone what I give. That would be too obvious. Of course, if I don't fold my check, then the people next to me could see it. Maybe I could subtly prop it up against the rim. Then the whole row would be able to see it. Oh, but it might fall out. Hey. That would be perfect, because then the people in the row in front who pick it up could see it too. And they'd have to pass it around to have it catch up to the plate, and then many more people would see it and be inspired. And then, if they didn't get it to the plate in time, the person on the end would have to stand up and call out to the usher, "Oh, sir, there's a very large check from a Mr. William Tyler, 7432 Whitfield Lane, that I am sure the church couldn't do without this week. And then the pastor would see what's going on and ask me to come up front. And then he'd probably make me honorary chairman of the board of directors right there. What a joy to be a humble tool in God's hands.
Oh no, the offering plate. I just hate this part of the service. Feed me! I bet everybody's watching me. I bet the people behind me are looking over my shoulder to see how much I'm putting in. Stop staring at me! Oh, I'm in the last row. Why am I so paranoid? What's the big deal about giving to the Lord? I know I should give more. I'm trying, Lord. What do you expect of me? Look at me. I am riddled with guilt. Just because I didn't give anything that week I was on vacation 2 years ago. All right, Lord. I'll double the amount I give this week. No. I'll triple it. Now, will you please get off my back? That's not good enough. Okay, God, I give up. You caught me red-handed yesterday. I didn't separate my trash. I didn't recycle. Oh, here, just take my whole wallet. There's $50 in cash and my credit card. There's still a couple $100 on him. It's not good enough. I have to let it all out. Oh, here, take my earrings. This is for lying to my mother when I was 13. And here's my ring. Well, these ought to cover the night of the senior prom. And my shoes? Yes. I did go 10 miles over the speed limit all the way over here, and I promised to walk home barefoot on the gravel just to prove how sorry I am. Dear God, is that enough? Oh, I just hate this part of the service.
Well, here it is. A chance to say thanks. You know, Lord, this has been a good week. I mean, every day I've had enough food. Every night I've gone to bed in a warm house. And every morning I've had a hot shower. Well, except for Thursday when the kids got up early. But all in all, I've had a lot of good things come my way this week. And I'm glad that I have a chance to show you that while I know I matter to you, you matter to me too. To think 2 years ago I would have been in the office on Sunday morning, slaving away, building my business, missing my family. But today I'm here. And now, in a tangible way, I get to show you, at least in part, how much I appreciate your presence in my life. This is for you, Lord.
I left my wallet in my car.
Mm-hmm. Sure you did.
I go into college. I get a degree in theater. And as I'm getting my degree in theater, they come up to me and say, "You're getting a degree in theater? Here's a credit card. It's a $7,000 limit."
Can you tell us how much you think you might owe?
I don't know, about $7,000.
Do I owe? Oh, yeah. I'm deeply in debt. I went to law school, and now I have to pay it back.
I owe a lot of people a lot, yes.
Yes, I owe a lot of people.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't in this day and age?
I'm an American citizen. I have to be in debt.
I think everybody does. I would say 99% uses credit.
Well, it's an easy way to get a quick hit on buying something you want and not have to worry about paying for it until later.
I'm trying to leave that till later, not think about that right now.
Basically, my plan is just to pretend it's not there.
and go on living my life and trying my best to pay for food and things that I need to live in the meantime.
I have like credit card bills up to $15,000.
About $600. About $2,000.
$20,000 maybe.
What money I will get from my, 401k and my retirement, I'll be able to pay all my bills.
We all owe money. That's why we go to work, and that's how the economy runs.
You got to owe somebody. If you don't, you can't even get credit if you don't owe somebody.
You have to have debt all the time. You're using credit cards, using other things, you're borrowing money. You can't help it.
Credit cards is everywhere, and people get in huge trouble just because of it.
My mom signed me up on her card when I was in high school, so I had a gold card in high school.
Oh, I got in big trouble with that first credit card. Got into college. Spent, had nothing to show for it.
I have about 5 different credit cards.
Unfortunately, our society is all focused around purchasing and buying, perpetuating the cycle.
Hey, as long as I'm paying them, they getting their interest, they happy. I'm happy. I'm getting what I want, they getting what they want.
We got one job to pay strictly for the credit cards, and you got one job to pay for your, rent, food, clothing, other, bills, stuff like that.
Basically, everybody lives way and beyond the mean.
Paycheck to paycheck. It's basically how I get by.
I probably owe about a little over $20,000.
A little bit over $30,000.
Maybe about 10, 15,000.
10,000.
5,000.
10,000.
Maybe $6,000. Nothing. Not a lot.
We needed to spend the money. We needed to spend the money. What are you going to do about it?
If it's necessary, then it's necessary.
Well, if we got the money, we'll pay it off. If not, we'll just make the monthly payment on it.
I'm just pay each month what I'm supposed to do, and that's all. No big problem.
That's the way it works. That's the way it works.
I had to face the fact that I didn't know the first thing about money management. I mean, anybody could take a $60,000 gift and turn it into a $20,000 debt is not exactly a money management genius.
If I did poorly on a test, I would buy myself something. If I did well on a test, I would congratulate myself and buy myself something. I had no idea where this money would come from to pay for these things.
I had literally become so unaware of what was happening with that money that I found myself deeply in debt. I mean, it was literally like waking up to the fact that I was now $20,000 in debt because I had become acclimated to that life I was living. I was blind to what was happening with that money, and I just kept spending on my credit cards when the actual money ran out.
I didn't even know the magnitude of my debt. I was unaware of what kind of bondage debt had me in.
I had about close to $20,000 in debt when I left college, not including a student loan, which was about $15,000 at the time.
I had about $30,000 worth of debt.
I was afraid to open my bills when they would come, and I would just push them aside because I knew I didn't have the money to pay them.
We were spending money that we didn't have many times, and no matter how hard we tried on our own, we just couldn't get caught up.
We were just throwing as much money as we could at our various creditors.
I was going through life thinking that, oh, someday it'll get paid off, and not really knowing when someday would be.
It was scary, and it was hopeless.
It seemed impossible. It seemed very impossible.
They kept adding late fees and increasing the interest rates.
Instead of taking this seriously and paying this off, I have doubled it.
The debt I was in only compounds itself.
What will happen in another 5 years? Will it double again?
The bills just got bigger instead of getting smaller, even though we were making payments every month.
It's a daily struggle. It hasn't been easy in the least bit.
I continue to make my monthly payments and just keep my head above water until good sense.
We call it good sense.
They taught us how to use a budget, which was a very frightening thing at first because Jean was very concerned that all of a sudden she was not going to be able to spend money.
It's been a couple of years since I came to Good Sense Ministry. and I've made a lot of progress.
I'm really thankful now that it took 4.5 years to become debt-free, because it took that much time for me to really see some patterns I was in, some ways of thinking, and for God to really change my heart in so many of these areas.
We've got about 6 months to go in this transitional housing program that we're in. And hopefully, with God's will, I will be debt-free by that time. It's looking that way, so we'll just see.
When the Good Sense Ministry counselors told me that it was okay and that I could get out of that situation, I felt so much relief.
When I paid one credit card off, although it was just a couple of $100s, I felt very hopeful.
When I look back over the years and we see the giving increase and the debt going down as we've worked at it, I've just seen so many times where God has blessed us.
God said, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." And I'll tell you, when I read those verses, it was like a weight came off my shoulders, because I started to see a purpose in this debt. It wasn't going to be wiped out immediately, but I saw that in this weakness, God was drawing me to Him and teaching me what He wanted me to learn.
We are the ones that are in control now, and we're not being controlled, and it's an awesome thing.
It will take time, but you can get out of this.
There is hope, and God could help you with it.
I'm doing the work. As I said before, I didn't think it was possible, but God gave me a patience and a determination to really push forward. And it just seems like the work is being paid off.
I remember the first time I met a friend who said, "You got to pray for me because I lost my house." I had no clue what he meant by that, and then as I began to understand, oh wow, you had debt to such a degree that you couldn't pay your payment, that marked me as a young man.
The stresses of being a single mom when your financial picture is a mess are heavy, because for me it meant working extra. And then I didn't have time to be home, number one. And number two, when I was home, I would be really tired because my job is very demanding. And I was just missing out with my son, you know, with the time that I could spend with him and build into him.
We had what the vast majority of Americans would call a very good life. Had a nice house, nice cars, nice vacations, money in our pocket, you know. And we just worked too hard and didn't really have a life outside of that.
I knew that something wasn't right, and so did Charlie. And we had talked about it. We knew that something was missing, and really, personally, I was starting to pay a really big toll to just working all the time and being away and being isolated. And that didn't stop us. I think to stop the pain there, we built a bigger house, went on more vacations. But knowing that we missed something, we looked to church.
My church offered the Good Sense seminar, and being a new believer, I was hungry to learn and to grow. And I went to the seminar, and it was through what I learned at the seminar that the lights went on and my life began to change.
When I married Bob, he said, "Okay, we're going to have a budget. I need you to keep track of your receipts and this." And I went, "Ugh, yuck." But I've learned through that why that's good, and then that has given us financial freedom as far as we know where our money goes, we know how much we have.
After the budget seminar, I spent some time the next couple of weekends putting together all of our expenses for the prior year and categorizing them, etc. And then Diane and I sat down and started working them over. And gradually, over a period of time, the heat went out of those meetings, and we were able to get on the same page and start making unified financial decisions.
When I realized that I could make a goal, and my first goal was to pay off my debts, then I had a reason to buy a coffee pot, have coffee at home, and to cook more and stay at home. I had a motivation to do those things that could change how I spent my money.
We also learned more about what was really important to ourselves and to each other, and some communication skills that we had never developed before. So the second benefit of the budget seminar was that we literally learned how to manage our money and better manage our marriage and to communicate, and became partners.
I had achieved my goal. The first year was to get out of debt, and I had achieved that goal. And also, I might add that I started tithing, which I had never done before. And the second year, my goal was to be able to work part-time. I'm a flight attendant, and my company offers a rotating part-time 6 months on, 6 months off. And my goal was really to be able to do that so that I could be home more with my son, who was about 4 years old at the time. So I set up the budget, and I was able to, in September of that following year, to work part-time for 6 months and be home with my son.
We were able to, through adoption, add a very precious boy to our family this year. Couldn't have paid for that, you know, if there wasn't savings over time that would allow us to do that.
Financial foolishness is a real burden. It's just heavy, and you're drifting with no direction. It just brings you down. And financial freedom is light. It's like the weight is lifted and you have freedom. And people think that budgets bind them, but they really don't. You have the freedom to choose now how I'm going to use these resources that have been given to me.
Financial freedom is available to everybody, whether they have a lot of money or a little bit of money, because the freedom really is from God, because you end up learning that it's all His. And He will provide you with what you need.
I would just want to raise the value of following biblical principles in a life and in a home, so that you can experience benefits like peace, a sense that all is in order. You can experience freedom. You don't worry.
The real heart of my story is Jesus Christ, because if He hadn't come into my life, I would have never found the Good Sense Seminar, and I wouldn't be where I am today.
The Good Sense Ministry has really helped us to ease our way through life until it comes to an end, and to do it together with purpose and with strength and energy and joy.
Good Sense makes a lot of sense, because it was the one bit of training I received in my life that was so clear, specific, and practical.
Good Sense is very good sense, because it gives you the freedom to live the way that God intended you to.
Without good sense, there's no sense. All right? Life doesn't make sense. You can try, but getting the right attitude on your finances is the only thing that makes any sense at all.